Hey,
Hey, you're now listening to So You Were Saying?
with Dora and Lex.
Tune in every Friday for the latest episode.
All right, guys. Well, obviously, you heard that I got super emotional before. So we had to break this down into part 2. So welcome back. Here's part 2.
Putting myself out there, it kept me balanced. I found the resources. So within Herbalife, I had a lot of resources. And then I took the extra step to go outside of that and find more resources to learn how to keep a balance with the things that I enjoy doing, which are eating and not gaining the weight back. But had I not did what I did and shared my journey the way I did, I would have reverted back to my old ways. And it for me personally, it would have been not what I wanted. But it still, at the end of the day, the way that, even with everything, even with having the accountability of the followers that I have and the people like you and Penelope and my father, my mother, like my siblings, I still don't see what they see. I still don't see my body physically the way that they see it. Like, I didn't realize that I had lost that much weight until after I had my daughter. And I went back and looked at old pictures like, what was I thinking? Like, I was bugging.
Right.
Like, I look at pictures now and I'm like, girl, you was looking good. What waist? You was snatched. And I'm looking at me now and I'm like, what in the world? Like, what happened?
Oh my goodness. Whoever chose this topic, like,
y'all, Dora is in tears. I'm shaking. It is a very sensitive topic for the both of us, just because on different, at different times in our lives, and obviously on different spectrums, we've struggled with weight, whether it was weight gain or weight loss, eating, not eating. It's just been a battle. Body image, all of it. It's been such a battle.
why am I triggered by an episode that involved me? Not whatsoever. It's just, it's
because
not that,
it does. At the end of the day, you
does.
have had weight loss experiences that could be triggering to you.
So it is so triggering for me, that whole journey of, I love the fact that I put it on IG and that it's there. I also hate the fact that I put it on IG and that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, again, I didn't begin this whole journey exposing everything as far as me having struggled and currently struggling with binge eating. I never put that out there. I just put it out there that this was my decision and this is what I'm going to do, and weight loss is what I'm going to work on. Now, having gone back, done it, lost 50 pounds, gained 30 back, and sitting here, having that Instagram and now, starting a podcast that involves me yet again being in a different avenue, still on social media, very prevalent, very in your face, very video, esque, whatever you want to call it, but just present. It's just, sometimes I look at it, and this is why I have to dip out of IG from time to time. I feel like a failure. And this is not to say that it has, failure to me doesn't have that huge, horrible connotation, but it's still not a great one.
You know what I did when I felt like I failed? At least you took a step back and came back into your Instagram. I created a whole new account. And I just didn't put anything weight loss or body anything on that account. I just kept it real personal. I know some people that do follow me on both accounts. They were asking like, what's going on with Herbalife? What's going on with this and what's going on with that? And I had to take a step. Like, I had to take a step back.
But I did. I archived every single picture for a while. And then I was like, you want to know what am I doing? This is just me. And this is why when we decided to go into season 2 with being about body image, I knew, I was like, this is where the truth comes out to us. Cat's out of the bag. We struggle with a lot more. It's not that simple. It's not that easy. But again, and we will go into deeper, and I don't want to go into that other topic so much, but it's just like, for those that have commentaries, for those that don't have commentaries but have eyeballs that penetrate like daggers.
Keep it to yourself.
I see you. You can't avoid it. And it's just like, and I know some people can't help it. They're just utterly disgusted by fat. It's okay. I understand.
Right.
But bro.
I don't know. You know what's crazy? Sometimes I used to envy the fact that you were of a certain size. Is that like, I don't know if that's like messed up to say, but you have almost like a category. I never had a category. It was, you're too big and you're too small. Or you don't, what, like, I didn't fit. I didn't fit. Like, even shopping, like, that used to stress me the flip out. Okay?
I don't like shopping.
No, it's not even that. I'm talking about like you know how a person who is proportionate can go into the store and buy, for example, a bathing suit, and it fits both top and bottom the same size.
Right, but who are we talking about as proposal?
No,
Do you think
I'm
my
just
life
saying,
is like that?
No, I'm not saying your life. I'm saying I used to like the fact that you at least fit. It's like, whether it was a plus size or not, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I admire people who at least fit into a category. I don't fit into a category. And I know obviously I'm not the only person in the world who's like that, but you know how frustrating it is to buy I can't even buy bathing suits online because you can't change the top size from the bottom size.
Right.
And then God forbid you get a one, like, you know how many one pieces I've bought and they don't fit because my boobs are so big, but I have no booty. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, it's frustrating because I would be like an extra large on the top and a medium in the bottom. Like, I can't even make this up.
Do you know what the most frustrating part is? That there's been times in my life that I just didn't think that I looked that bad, but it was still the commentary of other people that messed me up.
Yep. 100%.
It's just like, bro, like, I loved myself and you
just had to open your mouth. Loving yourself is hard. That's why I tell people, when people ask me for advice, I always tell them, like, it's an everyday practice.
Yes.
It's an everyday practice. Loving yourself is an everyday practice. Some days you will love yourself wholeheartedly, everything about you, inner, outer, everything. And other days you will look in the mirror like, why do I look like this? And I promise you, you look the exact same way you did yesterday. But that day, you feel bigger or smaller or, you know, happier or sadder. Like, these things. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, I swear to God, the other day, I woke up feeling like $1 million. I'm talking about, yeah, I'm feeling myself, everything. That next day, I was like, dang, I feel mad bloated. I feel so big in my stomach area. I feel heavier today. What is with that?
I'm like, why am I this emotional? I just realized, I was like, it is definitely that time of the month. I'm like, why can't I control myself? I was like, this was a horrible idea for recording this. But no, these episodes need to happen. But at the end of the day, it's definitely, it comes down to it. I mean, again, it's a battle with you and you.
Yep.
And yes, you should never allow the outside world commentary to bother you. But it just, if you struggle, right? It doesn't matter what you struggle with.
Right.
But any type of commentary, you're going to be sensitive towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're the strongest person or, you know, the person that's like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. It's still going to bother you because you're going to always want to defend because you're actively working, even if people don't see that you're actively working.
Right.
Or even if it doesn't seem like you're actively working.
Or even if it seems like you have it all put together.
Right.
Because exactly. I get a lot of people who, like, the comments that I would get, like, oh my God, I love your positivity. Mm-hmm. I love your, you know, your love for your body, your this and your that. And in my head, I'm like, only if you knew.
Only if you knew.
But out of my mouth, it was like, it's an everyday practice. Is this, is that. I definitely wasn't always this person, which is true. But in my head, I'm like, sis, I woke up today feeling like ugly AF. Okay.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you see, but we ain't seeing the same things right now.
Right.
So it's just, it's a every self-love and body appreciation for yourself, for your own body is an everyday practice. It will not be easy all the time. You won't always love it. It just, that's the reality of life. I'm not here to sell you on a fake dream saying like, once you lose the weight, you're going to just feel so great. No. Even if you're trying to gain weight.
Right.
Like, no.
It's just, for me at least, like I said in the previous episode, it came to a point of, you're going to love me if I'm big. You're going to love me if I'm small. You're going to have something to say, or you're going to have nothing to say. You're going to add fuel to the fire, or you're not. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to say, cool. F it. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to be who I am regardless of it. So Dora is going to be Dora. And unfortunately, whether you want to see me or you don't want to see, well, it's a little hard not to see me right now. But what I'm just saying, if you don't want to see me, then just do not watch.
Period.
Because it's just not going to change. And I feel so silly, like, just, and I guess why it's so triggering, it's because I know that it hasn't always been my own commentary. For a large part of my life, it's been others' commentary. And then whether others has been family, whether other have been friends, whether, because that's always a great one when you get it. Sometimes you get it from your own community. Like the plus size community sometimes does it to themselves. It's just like sometimes, and I don't know why that is, that body positivity, people always want to manipulate it like it has to be something negative, or it could be too much of something. If that makes sense. It's like, okay, if you have a plus size woman that loves her body, how dare she?
How dare she love all of that? Right. She's too big. She's this. She's that.
Unhealthy, and I'm like, first of all, you don't know what her records say, okay?
Right.
All of you people loving to get on HIPAA violations and crap. But second of all, it's just like,
I don't like that misconception. I don't mean to cut you off, but like, I hate that misconception that big people are unhealthy and skinny people are healthy, because let me tell you, I could run tracks around some skinny minis. Okay? Let me tell you, I'm just saying.
And that's only that. It's just like,
just saying.
So again, yes, does it mean, and it's so funny because I did also watch this show on, or it's not a show, it's like I guess a channel that always does, they did this whole thing on bodybuilders, and they asked bodybuilders certain questions, like if they strongly agreed versus, slightly disagreed or whatnot. And one of the questions was, do you feel that you should have pride, that people that are quote unquote fat should have pride in their bodies? And all of them agreed that it was wrong. And I was just like, wait, really? What? I'm like, okay, you do understand that, and again, I'm not going after the bodybuilding community, but you do understand that for many people, bodybuilding is seen as the complete opposite and extreme opposite of being quote unquote fat, right? So you do understand that what you do is also an extreme. Right. In most people's eyes, in like quote social norms, it's not like to be juiced up to that level. It's not just something that normal people do. Like, it takes an immense amount of dedication to get there, and good for you. But it's just like, okay, if you get to be proud and have pride of what you created as far as your physique, what if for whatever reason that person is just the way that, like, why is it that?
Why can't they be okay with how they look?
Why can't they have pride? No, because one person was like, oh, they could be okay with who they are, but they should be proud about being fat. I was like, but that's who they. What? I'm like,
that comment doesn't make sense.
So it's just like, okay, so you're basically saying it's okay for fat people to exist, but just understand that you're nothing. Like, that's kind of how it came up to me. It's like, okay, having pride. It's just like, but how dare you, be content or comfortable or show any type of acceptance. And I'm like, okay, why do we have to be this definitive about it? Why do we have to be so definitive? Some people are actively trying and it just doesn't work. And trying doesn't have to be to everybody. Like, there's no one level of trying.
Right.
Especially when it comes to this. because there's many factors that fall into this. Many factors. One of them being genetics.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like,
Hence why I still don't have no booty. I'm just saying.
it's just,
No, I'm just saying, 'cause people keep asking me like, oh, why, like right now,
mm-hmm.
now that I've had my daughter, you still want to have surgery? Yeah, I do. Because at the end of the day, I put the work in. I lost the weight. I went to the gym and I did the squats and it's not saying that I can't grow my booty, because absolutely I can grow my booty more.
Right.
I did. I had nothing, y'all. If y'all think I got a little booty now, let me tell you, I had a wall. It was flat. Okay, I had a long back. So I'm not out like, I am 100% a sole believer in you can build the body that you want.
Right. Which is true.
100% true. However, physically, if your body does not allow you to get past a certain degree, you're not, like, people go and they get the hip
Right.
injections, right?
Mhm.
Because they can work out all day, but they still got side dips. I think
Right.
that's what it's.
The
I
hip
think it's what the
dips.
hip dips. There you go.
Mm-hmm. There's
no workout that you're gonna do. It's an empty space, and if you actually go and look, and you speak to surgeons and doctors and things like
Mhm.
that, it's an empty space.
Mhm.
They put fat in that empty space to fill it out.
Right.
I can't pinpoint fat during a workout to put it there. Like,
Right.
it's never gonna happen.
Right. It's the same thing if you're misproportioned as far as sizes. So if like you were born with broader shoulders as a female,
Right.
you can do things like if you're skinnier, it
Mhm.
will, not attract the eye as much, but your shoulders are still broad.
Right.
It's just the way that it is. If you're the same thing, if you have a torso that's longer or a
Mhm.
shorter torso versus your legs, you can use certain pieces of clothing and items to, distinguish and kind of hide that
Right.
and make it more subliminal. But still, the way that you are proportioned, that's just based on genetics.
Right. And so since I've already seen my body at both stages, and I
Mhm.
know still the image that I want for myself, yes, I still want to go and have surgery.
I'm not, and again, you have but one life to live, and I will say this time and time again. Let me be happy.
Let me live.
Just allow me to be happy. If surgery is what I choose to do, let me do so. If I want to scream it from the top of the mountains, that's fine. But if I don't want to tell a soul, then that's fine. If you see me out on the street snatched one day and unsnatched the other day, that's fine too.
Right.
Because Dora's being Dora.
Right. But I got a lot of backlash. So one of the comments that I got recently was, but you do Herbalife.
So
I said,
I'm
do.
not even going to go into that.
I said, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you want to have surgery? You're gonna take the easy way out? I
How is
said,
that?
excuse me? Yo, my whole I was just livid. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Do you know how hard I worked to lose the weight that I lost and to gain the muscle that I gained in the areas that I wanted to?
But my whole thing is, even if you didn't put in the work, even if you didn't, right? Even if you didn't put in the work.
But because I am an Herbalife distributor, that this is their argument. I shouldn't get surgery because I need to give off the image of keeping it natural.
Okay, but I'm sorry. When did we associate Herbalife with keeping it natural?
Right. That's what I'm like, what? So you're telling me that my nutrition is like, I was like, okay, wait, this doesn't make sense to me. Because I decide to consume Herbalife nutrition.
Right.
And I decide to keep my diet as healthy as possible. And I decide to work out and drink and whatever. That because I do that, I can't have surgery because now I'm giving off a false image? I'm confused.
I guess because they're just associating that with the fact, you're not actually losing the weight through Herbalife, you're losing the weight through surgery.
I've already lost the weight through Herbalife.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I was
I'm like,
that's not
what?
I could understand if that was the case. Like, you just got surgery and then all of a
and
sudden
then I'm out here promoting Herbalife did it for me.
Like the
tummy
tea, which I'm like,
Right. No, I put in the work. I lost the weight. I've shown my results. I've done it.
Right.
My products work. But I'm going to go get this booty that I want. And that's on period.
I just think that it's not that serious, guys. it's not that serious. But yes, no. But you see, it's mentality like that is so critical of someone else's body and feels the need that you have to say something because you have a mouth that can be so triggering to those that are actually struggling and are actually trying to make things work, even if to the outside world it may not seem like that. You don't know what people's internal struggles are, and what you say can have such a bad connotation on them. But the only thing that you see is that you have an opinion and you need to have it because you see that person. And it's just like, I can't. And this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what phase you are in, you will have that commentary. People love, misery loves company. Like, people love to drag.
I don't know. I shook my head and I stopped responding. Like, I started a response and I stopped responding mid conversation. I was like, you know what? My body, my choice. Mm-hmm. Let me be. Let me be. Either if my clients want to be like, oh, well, she went and she got surgery and now she can't be my coach. That's how you feel? Mm-hmm. Do you think?
And let's just put this out there. Let's just be realistic. If you have surgery and you don't stick to the nutrition that you need to,
you're still going to gain all the way back.
You're still going to be back to square one.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how many times you go back. I was like, it will still happen.
Right.
Trust me. I know. So it's just one of those things. It's just, I've seen too many people go through that yo-yo cycle of just surgeries. And that's why a lot of people that do start with plastic surgery, especially when it comes to liposuction, it becomes an addiction. Mm-hmm. And it becomes something that they have to constantly go back because
they're not changing their lifestyle.
Exactly. And they're not really learning what they need to learn to suffice. But again, sometimes changing that lifestyle takes a lot more steps, and it has nothing to do with nutrition.
With nutrition, no, it's mental.
It's mental, right?
That's why I try to explain to people is that when I went through my weight loss journey, I didn't lose the weight because I changed my eating habits right away. I had to mentally change my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I had to stop snacking every day, but that took a lot out of me mentally. I had to stop drinking. I didn't have to stop drinking soda, but I chose to stop drinking soda because I knew that it was just full of things that I didn't need to put into my body for the goals that I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
Right? Like, it was things that I needed to do better to get to that goal. It wasn't just, here's the nutrition and here's the weight loss. Mm-hmm. It's steps. It's a process, which is why you can't take a habit that you've had your whole life. In my case, at that time, it was like 20, 21 or 22, whatever years, right? And think that I'm going to change it in a year. No.
And even when you learn all the process and everything like that, like, there's even a different layer of mental that goes into that. And I only say that because, again, it's so much deeper than that.
It is.
It's so much deeper with the way that you... And especially, again, I don't think we ever defined it, but people, I guess, from just speaking about it, you understand that body dysmorphia is basically a disassociation from what you're actually seeing versus to what actually exists in the first physical form. Sorry, that was a bit late in the episode.
Right, super late.
We should have explained that early on. But in a sense, to fix that comes sometimes because of years of just that negative speech in your head. So It's just like you constantly, and it's a loop and a cycle, and it's almost like an OCD. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you must touch that tap light. Like, you've tapped it 10 times, but it's just like, nope, just one more time. Just one more time. But it's that thing. It's that thing that just doesn't click. And sometimes you get it to click for a little bit and get stuck for a little bit and you're good. But then it gets unstuck and all of a sudden you got to click again.
Right.
And that is a cycle that is just, I'm still working on.
Same.
I am still working on that one.
Same.
It's rough.
That's why I tell people, like, it's so much more than weight loss. Like, my journey, I can only speak for myself. Me personally, my journey was so much more than weight loss.
Of course.
It was definitely a mental thing. And if you're a person where you're on a weight loss journey and you're trying and you just feel like you're not getting there, you're getting there.
Of course.
Every day that you decide to create better habits for yourself, not just eating habits, but habits, lifestyle habits, you're getting there. And if you don't lose 50 pounds in, 2 months, it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, give yourself time because you didn't gain those 50 pounds in 2 months. Give yourself and your mental and your body the appreciation that it deserves. Because every day that you wake up and it's moving and it's functioning, it's doing its job.
Of course.
So just be nice and be kind to yourself, because it's not easy.
Amongst everything else that we have to deal in this world.
Right.
Because obviously we're not all consumed about 24/7 how we look.
Right.
Because,
then that too.
You know, there's everything else that amounts in this world. But amen to that one, sis.
Yeah,
And
I'm going to end it there. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself on your weight loss journey, on any journey that you're taking for yourself to be better. Just be nice and give yourself and your body the time that it needs to accomplish the things that you want it to accomplish.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's my gem of the day. I will leave y'all to it. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking through this episode. I know it was a bit lengthy, but we appreciate you.
We do.
With all the love. And if you guys don't already follow us,
please make sure to follow us on all our social media pages. So you have Instagram, so.youweresaying, and then you also have Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you have iHeartRadio, Pandora. Y'all get it. We're everywhere.
Right. So just like, comment, follow, subscribe, whichever thing that you're on, do whatever it tells you to do. And we appreciate y'all. We will see you for episode 3 later.
Bye.